The quarterfinal round of the high school football playoffs kicked off Friday night as Mount Tahoma tried to pull an upset against the defending 3A state champions from Yelm. Just a 7-0 game at halftime. Then the Thunderbirds took the opening drive of the third quarter right down the field. Quarterback Trey Walker with two huge third down conversions, one to DeAndre Irvin for 21 yards on 3rd and 8, then another to Logan Walker for 23 yards on 3rd and 10. Walker also running a nice read, keep, and fake in from 2 yards, but a missed extra point left the score at 7-6. Yelm took some chances to get its offense going, facing a 4th and 4. Damian Aalona hit his twin brother Marius 22 yards on the post route, and it was a 14-6 Tornadoes lead. On their next possession, Aalona takes an even bigger chance, nowhere to throw except back across the field. That's usually how interceptions happen, but not here. Jamison Patton is open, goes 40 yards. A 2-point conversion put Yelm up 22-6, headed into the fourth quarter. Mount Tahoma answered with another good drive. Bryson Bailey is rewarded for the extra effort, a 4-yard touchdown, but a failed 2-point conversion left it a 2-possession game, and Yelm took to the ground and went to work on the clock. Anthony Kiamko rips off a 41-yard gain. The Tornadoes extend the longest winning streak in the state to 26 games. Braden Platt caps the game with an 11-yard score and runs Yelm back into the semifinals thanks to a 29-12 win.
We didn't take care of the ball as much as I would like to have, but that's what happens in good football games. They force you to turn it over. You know, we gotta do a better job of taking care of the ball, regardless of circumstances. And our defense stepped up when they needed to.
Whenever we score, I feel like it's a game changer. But it gives us momentum when we're going into the next drive, and even for the defense. I just think they're really big, and we need to keep scoring, especially on the first drive.
We knew it was going to be, the best game that we played all year. We knew that they were going to come out and give us their best, and so we had to prepare for that. And obviously, as scoreboard shows, we did.
We all came in at halftime and we were all mad, but in the end, we all got it together and we started working and we started going.
We're really excited to get this win, a very physical football game. Hats off to them. They were incredibly well prepared. So that was a good football game.
One thing I told you earlier this season that I can still stand here and say is, I love that our kids didn't stop fighting. We played to the end of the game. We started getting banged up a little bit in the second half, but we didn't stop. We want to continue to change the culture here, and, it starts with games like this, right? You're not going to win them all. But this is a great stepping stone for us, continue to turn this program in the right direction, so it's still, it does sting for me. I know it stings for our seniors in particular, but we are very proud of them in the way we played tonight. It's just another step in the road for us to continue to grow.
So Yelm was awaiting the winner of Saturday's matchup between Kennewick and Eastside Catholic. The Lions are no strangers to pulling upsets at Memorial Stadium, including one against the Crusaders 2 years ago. David Linné gave Eastside the early lead with a touchdown run. Both teams struggled with turnovers. Dominic Driver picked off by Linné. At one point, the teams traded turnovers on 5 possessions in a row. The Lions would rebound from that in the fourth quarter. Driver finding Kyler Witkowski 20 yards for a touchdown. Kennewick closed the gap to make it 10-7, but the season of giving came a little bit too early, more so for Kennewick. Driver picked off, this time by Ambrose Marsh, and a nice return set up the Crusaders. Of all the turnovers, that one hurt the Lions the most. Jeremiah Burrows through the line, the spin move, and then the speed. 41 yards for the touchdown to put the game almost out of reach. One more turnover would finish it. Driver picked by Marsh one more time. He threw 4 interceptions in the second half. Eastside Catholic avoids the upset bug with a 17-7 win. On the top side of the 3A bracket, Garfield and O'Day facing off under the shadow of the Space Needle as well. Game was tied when O'Day hit the gas pedal in the second quarter. Quinn White up the middle to make it 21-7 Irish. O'Day got it done on defense as well. E.J. Kamiakin takes a shot, loses his helmet. Luckily, his head wasn't in it. Joseph Fuavai credited with the sack. All season long, Kamiakin's main target has been Rashawn Clark. He goes to the well again, but it's dry this time with an interception. Antoine Orojo on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Orojo played solid at quarterback as well. Nice play-action fake, and White is wide open for another score. Usually Jason Brown does the damage with his power running for O'Day. You can see why Garfield bit on the play fake. Xander Turner, nice job holding on to the rock. O'Day knocks out Garfield 45-13. No surprise, they are on to the semis. And up next for the Irish, a date with Bellevue after the Wolverines pulled an upset Friday on the road in Arlington. The 4A bracket brought us the lowest scoring game of the weekend. Kamiakin, known for its defense, and they did not disappoint against Mount Si, even on the road. Scoreless in the first quarter when Nate Donovan is sacked in the end zone. Baker Mundy gets credit for the safety and a 2-0 lead. Any offense was tough sledding in this game. Jack Smasney on the defensive line swallows up his blocker and still makes the tackle for loss. The Wildcats defense, though, answering the bell as well. Carter Poland nailed in the backfield by Frank Kissick. Finally, before halftime, somebody would reach the goal line. Trent Woodhouse finds enough room on the scramble, diving for the end zone. It was 8-0 after a missed extra point. Mount Si would keep the Braves out of the end zone the rest of the way. Michael Len, with a cast on his left arm, still makes the interception, but it wasn't enough. Kamiakin holds off Mount Si, winning 8-6 to advance. Their reward is a trip back across the mountains next week to face Lake Stevens. That's because the Vikings beat Kennedy Friday night in a rematch of last year's 4A title game. In the bottom half of the 4A bracket, East Lake survives at home against Skyview. The Wolves will face Graham Kapowson in the other semi after GK got a late score to beat Gonzaga Prep. In 2A, it was a full house turnout of fans in Anacortes to face Orting as the Seahawks hosted a state quarterfinal game for the first time ever. The home team started putting points on the board in a hurry. Quarterback Rex Larson had the Midas touch, maybe not turning things to gold, but turning big plays into big yards or touchdowns every time he got the ball to a teammate. The bubble screen to Micah Dickinson gets the first down and plenty more. Dickinson all the way down inside the 5-yard line. Brock Beaner would score 2 plays later, plowing through defenders for the first of many touchdowns for the Seahawks on the night. Second quarter, Beaner again. Not sure he was even touched on this play. 26 yards, the second of his 3 touchdowns in the game, and another score for the fans in the stands to cheer about. Orting could not get anything going on their side of the ball for offense. Zach Gemmer trying to get the ball upfield, but Dickinson gets a paw on the rock, hauls in the interception, takes it 36 yards back the other way. It set up a short TD run from Beaner. Anacortes with 453 yards of offense, unstoppable in nearly all phases of the game. Larson with a monster night, 17 of 20 passing, 274 yards, 1 touchdown in the air, this one on the ground. Anacortes with one of the rare shutouts this weekend. They beat Orting 42-0.
It means the world. These guys have put so much work in this offseason, this entire season. This coaching staff's amazing, and I'm just so proud of them. It's been such a run, and hope to continue it next week.
We have a great community backing us, a great coaching staff, and you know, my teammates, everybody that puts the work in, you know, week in, week out, night and day. You know, it's something special, and all I can say is I'm super grateful.
I mean, 5-6 years ago, this is a junior varsity program. We had a bunch of guys, they just bought in. They bought in, they rode it out. They were freshmen coming in, and to be able to put the work in, to have all those guys believe what we saw they could be, and to be here today is amazing.
It's been a grind for sure, but it's been a lot of fun and blood, sweat, and tears, and you know, wouldn't have asked for any other group. There's no other group I'd rather do it with.
The community's been everything. They've rallied around.
As they mentioned, the program has been a work in progress. The journey for Anacortes to reach the quarterfinals or semifinals is far from an overnight success. It seems hard to believe that at one point football was nearly non-existent there. The stadium was renovated a few years ago thanks to community support and now has become a pillar of that community and other youth sports in the area. For the football games, students have packed the stands every chance they've had, and so many fans come out they have to camp out and watch from the hills. A decade's worth of effort, literally building from the ground up.
We had a year where we were really light on numbers and we were low on seniors. And we thought, if we're going to rebuild this program, we can't just keep losing 9 games and getting hurt and having only 20 kids in our program. So the decision was made to let's get a JV team and let's go and see if we can win some games, make football look fun to the students, and get some more of our athletes in the school to come and play football. We had a lot of athletes, they just weren't playing football. And so that was really the turning point for us. We had success, and the next year we had a bunch of kids that wanted to play football, and that was really how we rebuilt this thing. The community is amazing. They, like, what do you need, coach, or what do you need, Mr. Ports? And it's like, well, we need some bleachers for our visitors, and it's like they just made it happen. We've got great people. They're very supportive. They're excited to have a program where they can come and support student athletes. They can support our band, they can support our cheerleaders. And like I said, most teams have already turned in their gear. So it really is a blessing to have an opportunity to still be here doing this tonight, and hopefully we can do it for 2 more weeks after this.
They'll get to do it again next Saturday at home when they host Enumclaw. The Hornets won a shootout over Highline Friday night at Pete's Pool, and on the bottom of the bracket, North Kitsap scored late to force overtime, then beat Linden with a touchdown and interception in OT, 34-28. North Kitsap would get the winner of Clarkston and Tumwater. The Bantams have had a fabulous season, brought an 8-game win streak into Tumwater, but the Thunderbirds extended their 11-game win streak to 12. Clarkston needed defensive stops early. Ethan Kastner, though, shows off the arm, and why Tumwater is the top seed in 2A. 24 yards to David Malroy on a key 3rd and 8 early on. Peyton Davis, former KIRO 7 Player of the Week, caps the drive, made it 14-0 Tumwater. After the defense forced a punt, Davis went right back to work. The pitch and the textbook blocking all the way down the field. This one goes 49 yards. It was 21-0 Thunderbirds. Clarkston, feeling the game slipping away, maybe started pressing a bit. Carner Steinwan. On 4th down, his throw is picked off by Cash Short. And he won't be short for long because his team cashed in on the very next snap. Jalen Nixon, 30 yards. It was suddenly 28-0. After another interception, Thunderbirds capitalized on the back-to-back turnovers. Kastner on the rollout. Logan Cole opened just long enough to haul in the score. Tumwater is back in the 2A semis with a 42-6 win. In 1A, the only local teams left were trying to knock one another out. Nooksack Valley ends the season for Linden Christian. Nooksack will hit the road to face Lakeside in Spokane in the semis. In 2B Friday night, conference rivals Onalaska and Kalama met for the second time this season. Kalama won the first meeting and the division, but Onalaska got a higher seed in the playoff bracket. Slow start for both teams. Loggers trying to fake punt from their own 21. Cooper Lawrence tackled well short by Ethan Brightbill. The Chinooks capitalized 4 plays later. Aiden Brown went straight to the end zone. He scored the first of his 3 touchdowns for Kalama. They kept control of the game in the second quarter. Brown, this time, to the air, and he finds Brightbill. Nice catch, 35 yards down the right sideline. Brown would call his own number again on the very next play. Kalama eventually would build a 26-14 lead in this game, but the tide turned as the game went on. The Loggers defense stiffened up. Drew Schlangen gets taken down for a loss by Samuel Pancook and Caden Mozingo, and it was on offense where Mozingo shined the most. The senior quarterback set a school record with 447 yards rushing, including the 71-yarder, one of his 5 touchdowns. Ani took momentum and never let it go on the way to a 60-40 win. The Loggers get another rematch next week, this time with Napavine. The Tigers rolled into the semifinals with a big win over Riverview. And finally, in 1B, the Mossyrock Vikings hosting Almira Coulee-Hartline. And when it comes to 8-man football, defense isn't the first thing that comes to mind. Mossyrock, though, had their chances. Caden Correa takes advantage of the pressure with the screen pass. Carter Pitts makes the most of it, good for 61 yards, and it set up the Warriors to find the end zone. Jamison Conley hauls in the 11-yard touchdown to put ACH up early on. The Vikings would get rolling after that. Easton Kolb with his own screen. Luke Cooper puts a foot in the ground, turns it upfield, good for 29 yards. Mossyrock was in business. Kolb with the quarterback sneak 2 plays later. Vikings found the end zone plenty after that, beating Almira Coulee-Hartline 46-30. Mossyrock will face Wilbur Creston in the semifinal next week. And on the bottom of the 1B bracket, Nia Bay is back in the semis with a solid road win over in Tri-City. The Red Devils will face the defending champs from Liberty Bell. Keep it here on KIRO7.com for more scores and highlights from the next round.